Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the David Hittle Real Estate Show. I am your host, as always. I am David Hittle, a realtor with United Real Estate Louisville, and I am excited to look into with you today um, the first quarter of 2022 and what it looked like for our housing market. We're going to look at what uh, has happened so far this year, and we're also going to look at the predictions and what it looks like um, the rest of the year is going to look like. Um, but before we get started, I would love for you to visit my website. My website is shopkentuckyhomes.com, all one word. And on that website, you can find your next dream home. You can find the valuation of your current home. You can receive market updates. You can do a whole host of things on my website. So if you haven't already, please visit my website, shopkentuckyhomes.com. So let me get everything lined up here, and we're going to talk about what is happening in this market. This market is all over the place, as I'm sure you're well aware, and it is going to be slightly different than last year. So, if you read my newsletter that just went out here at 2 o'clock, so you probably haven't had time to take a look at that yet. But if you take a look at my newsletter, I do talk about how this 2022 housing market is going to be similar to 2021. And in that way, we're going to see the same type of activity that we saw in 2021. There is just one caveat to that. Last year, we hit an all time record low for mortgage interest rates. That rate hit 2.65% last year. In the month of January of 2021, we hit the all time historic low mortgage interest rate. This year, instead of seeing lower mortgage interest rates, we are going to see higher interest rates. In fact, this week, the mortgage interest rates hit 4.67%. 4.67%, almost to 5% so far this year. And my prediction is that we will see 5, 6, maybe even 7% interest rates before the end of the year. The deputy chief economist for Freddie Mac, Lynn Kiefer, says that mortgage rates are likely to continue to move higher throughout the balance of 2022. And that interest rate increasing does have an impact on home buyers that are wanting to purchase homes. However, the impact that we see with purchase power wise over the looking at the historic figures anyway, does not point to what we would expect it to. So the impact on rising rates to home prices from looking from October of 93 on through December of 2013, mortgage interest rates increasing has not affected home prices. And in fact, between October of 1998 and May of 2000, Mortgage rates increased 1.81% over those 19 months, and home prices skyrocketed 13%. The very next rise in mortgage rates that we saw was June of 2003 through June of 2004. So that year, we saw mortgage interest rates rise 1.06%. And again, home prices rose 13% in that year. Also, looking at November 2012 to December of 2013, those 13 months saw a mortgage rate increase of 1.11%, and still home prices rose 11%. So the question is, and the question was, what will the impact of mortgage interest rates be on home prices? And if we can take historical data to look at, a rise in mortgage interest rates is not going to negatively affect home prices. And it has not since October of 1993. But what will the impact of rising rates have on housing? Now, that is a completely different story. So, looking at those same timelines, looking at the October 98 till May of 2000, the mortgage rates increased 1.81% in those 19 months. The home prices rose 13%, but the number of home sales declined 2%. Again, looking at the June of 2003 to 2004, those 12 months, 13% rise in home prices. Mortgage rates rose 1.06%, but we had something different. In that year cycle, we actually saw home sales rise 2%. Now, June 2005 to July 2006, we were starting to see the bubble starting to come. The bubble of the past home market crash. That bubble was about to burst in that span in those 13 months. The mortgage rates had increased 1.18%. Home prices had rose 7%, and in that span, home sales fell 14%. So again, we have to take that time period with a grain of salt due to the fact that we know in hindsight, looking back now, that we were going to get hit by a housing crash, a housing market crash. So, that type of data, looking back at the historical data, really shows and really indicates what may happen, what we can predict will happen because of the continued rise in mortgage interest rates. And the director of forecasting at the National Association of Realtor is Nadia Evangelo, and she said that she expects that the 30-year fixed mortgage rate will continue to rise, although we aren't likely to see the big jumps that occurred over the past few weeks. And I personally would have to disagree with her on that. I believe that as the Federal Reserve continues to raise these rates, they just rose rates a few weeks ago by 0.25%. They are expecting that their next rate rise will be 0.5%. I believe as the Federal Reserve continues to raise rates, trying to combat inflation in our overall economy, I believe as they continue to raise rates, so too will mortgage interest rates rise as well. Freddie Mac says that history suggests that when rates rise, There is an initial bump in home prices as many move quickly to buy a home before rates increase further. But after that period, we're seeing something similar to that now. But after that period, home prices slow. Freddie Mac's analysis shows that a 1% increase in mortgage rates results in home price appreciation that is 4 percentage points lower. So, in other words, if we continue to see mortgage interest rates rise, we may actually see depreciation, or not depreciation, but appreciation of home values start to just slightly decrease a little bit. And we've talked about that on previous shows on how the home prices have been going up and up and up and up like a roller coaster on a hill going up. And we don't suspect that the home prices will go down the other side of the hill on the roller coaster, but will start to level out. So the home price appreciation will not stop appreciating. It will just appreciate at a slower rate. The deputy chief economist at Freddie Mac, again, Lynn Kiefer, says with rates rising and expected to rise through 2023, it makes sense to obtain a purchase or refinance mortgage if you are in good standing. So, looking forward to spring, I know it's hard to tell that it is spring when it is 30 degrees yesterday and 60 to 70 degrees today. But the spring housing market update from Altos Research says we keep watching for it, but there are absolutely no signs. Again, there are absolutely no signs of a market slowdown anywhere in the data. Now, this is great news for sellers because, of course, if you are looking to sell your home and maybe you are going to purchase a new construction home, then uh, you're not in this competitive buyer cycle, perhaps, like these other buyers that are looking at your home may be. Most buyers today are dealing with 4 to 5 other buyers wanting to buy the same house as them. Some of these buyers are looking at way over list price. Some of them are um, doing away with contingencies that are just they're needed. Home inspection, appraisal gap contingencies. It's amazing. It really is. So looking at this market from a seller's perspective, it is good if you know where you're going. So in other words, if you're selling and you know for a fact that you're going to go rent something somewhere for a year. Okay. If you are selling and you already have another piece of property that you're going to go to. Okay, good. If you are selling and purchasing a new construction home, okay, that takes a little bit more effort on the part of your realtor to make sure that your home sells and that it sells before, just slightly before your new construction home is finished so that you can have an easy transition. And we do that through substantially completed construction contingencies, which say that the buyer does not officially get to move into your home until your home is done and you can close on it. So, looking at the buyer and seller traffic nationwide, and of course, we always focus on Kentucky because Kentucky is where we live. Shop Kentucky Homes. So, buyer traffic, according to the National Association of Realtors research, is in the strong category. Every state around us, with the exception of Missouri, is in the strong category when it comes to buyer traffic. This is buyers going out and seeing homes with their agent, buyer traffic. What is interesting, however, is that for the first time since I have seen this map, Kentucky also has uh I guess it would be what they would call stable seller traffic, which is interesting because we are way low on inventory here in the Louisville area anyway. So it would seem as though we would still be in the weak category when it came to or when it comes to um, homes for sale, seller traffic, as in individuals wanting to sell their homes. In fact, here in Louisville, we currently have 1,032 homes on the market. 1,032. Now, that number is way, way low. Around this time, we start to normally see this number tick up into the 2000s, into the 3000s, and up into the fours and fives by summer. But we have not seen that for the past couple of years. In fact, when I started in real estate in June of 2019, if I went on over 5,000 listings available in June of 2019. Today, 1,032. Over in Lexington, not too far away from us, they have 1,403, so slightly more than we do here in Louisville. And finally, in northern Kentucky, just north of the Lexington area, of course, they have 481. So putting all three, you're just under 3,000 homes for sale on the market. So that apparently, because of the increase in listings that we're starting to see, and all over the country should start to see that as spring turns to summer. But for the first time in a long while, we are in the stable category when it comes to seller traffic. So, taking a look at active listings this past month actually increased for the first time in 6 months nationwide. So, for the past 6 months, the number of active listings on the market nationwide has been falling. Back in September of 2021, there were 621,000 listings on the market. This past February, we had fallen to 376,000. So just a little more than half. And here in March, we actually have increased to 382,000. So a slight increase, but an increase nonetheless, and that is good news. It's a good sign for home buyers who can still afford to be in this market that more homes are hitting the market and that they may have more options here in the future. The editorial director at Fortune magazine, Lance Lambert, says indeed, some experts say that 2022 the 2022 spring housing market might go down as one of the most competitive on market. And that's exactly correct. Absolutely correct. There are very few listings on the market today, as I pointed out with our Louisville numbers, with the Lexington numbers, and with the Northern Kentucky numbers. There are few listings on the market, but there are a ton of home buyers on the market. And those buyers, some of which are first time home buyers, some of which are getting out of renting, they're wanting to finally own their home. Some are moving from one home, they're selling their home and moving to another home, but the competition among home buyers right now is still extraordinary. It is amazing what we are seeing in the number of home buyers that are on the market today and wanting to see homes. And of course, showings have now exceeded the pre pandemic numbers. So, of course, during the pandemic, less people wanted to go out and see other people's homes, and less sellers wanted to actually show their homes to potential buyers because of the pandemic. But now that has that's gone away, and we are starting to see even more showings on homes than even before the pandemic. And home prices are still on the rise. Still on the rise. Look at it this way: between January of 2020 and January of 2021, the year over year monthly price appreciation for a home averaged 10% nationwide. Today, looking at January of 2021 to January 2022 monthly, home prices have appreciated on average in the US 19.1%. So some people are like, oh, I can't afford a home. The home prices are going up so much. I can't afford it. I'm not going to be able to afford that type of home. I'm going to have to look at a cheaper home, and we're going to have to continue to rent. Well, rents are also up almost 20% year over year. It is amazing. Craig Lazara, the managing director of S&P DJI, said that last fall we observed that home prices, although continuing to rise quite sharply, had begun to decelerate. Even that modest deceleration was on pause in January. 19.2% year over year change for January was the fourth largest reading in 35 years. So, what does that mean? For January of 2022 over January 2021, 19.2% year over year increase in home prices was the fourth largest reading in the past 35 years. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, what is happening out there? What is happening out there? Well, there are currently more new listings than active listings. That is a great thing. That is a great thing. More new listings. A new listing goes on and it stays new for about 10 to 15 days. Active listings are just all of the listings that are on the market. So having new listings hitting the market in more than current active listings means that we are starting to see more homes hit the market, which is great. We are also seeing that home builders are starting to try to catch up with the number of homes that they're trying to build. However, they are still below the average. Another reason to purchase a home is that home ownership is a hedge against inflation. So we talk about the inflation rate being around 7 or 8%. That's the cost of everything around you: your food, your clothing, your gasoline, your energy, everything. 7 to 8% is the inflation rate currently, 40-year highs. But your home for 2021 increased on average, home price appreciation increased on average 18%. So your home price increasing killed what little inflation could have occurred. And looking at the potential growth of a home purchased in January of 2022 at $360,000, looking at the projected home price appreciation, you're looking at turning your $360,000 home into almost a $460,000 home by 2027. It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing what is happening in this real estate market. And if you are in a position to actually do something real estate wise, whether that is uh, getting out of renting and owning your own home, where you increase your net worth, where your net worth rises because of the equity that you have in your home. If you're in that sort of position, now is a great time. Interest rates are high. They are only going to go higher, in my opinion. Home prices are high. They're only going to go higher, in my opinion. If we take a look at that home price expectation survey, a $360,000 home today is likely to cost you almost $460,000 in 2027, just 5 short years away. So you can purchase your home today for 360,000 or 300,000 or 200,000 or 150,000, whatever is in your budget, and actually uh, get that increased value over those 5 years. Or you can continue to rent and see your rental cost increase 20, 30% with you having no sort of value of any kind in it. So it's all about what you can do in your particular situation. But again, home prices are going to continue to rise. There is no no mention, no thought of a housing bubble right now. The only bubble that there may be is that home interest rates, mortgage interest rates, and home prices go up so much that buyers can't purchase anymore. If that happens, then you own your home anyway, and you're good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I thank everyone for watching the show today. I hope it was educational. I hope that it enlightened you and helped you understand what is happening in today's market. I want to wish everybody a happy Golfers Day. That is what today is. It's also Palm Sunday, and it is a beautiful 60 degrees outside. I think my next task on my agenda is to mow the lawn. So for David Hittle, United Real Estate Louisville, Shop Kentucky Homes, please visit that website, shopkentuckyhomes.com, and just explore until your heart's content. Find out what is happening in your neighborhood on my website. You can do that. So until next Sunday, I thank everyone for watching, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Good night.